70% of Americans are living in a state of chronic stress right now, and they don't even know it's destroying their brains. You think stress just makes you feel tired. You think it's just part of modern life. The truth is, chronic stress doesn't just make you feel bad. It actually changes the structure of your brain. It shrinks the areas responsible for memory. It weakens your immune system. It increases your risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what's happening inside your body and brain when stress becomes chronic. And more importantly, I'm going to show you what you can do about it. Let's get started. Section 1. Acute vs. Chronic stress. First, let's clarify something important. Not all stress is bad. In fact, acute stress, short-term stress, can save your life. Imagine you're crossing the street and suddenly a car races toward you. Your body goes into fight or flight mode instantly. Heart beats faster. Muscles tense up. Senses sharpen. You jump aside. You're safe. That's acute stress. It activates quickly. You respond, then it turns off. Your body returns to normal. This is the evolutionary mechanism that helped our ancestors survive. But chronic stress is completely different. Chronic stress is like a car racing toward you, but it never hits. It just keeps racing toward you. Hour after hour, day after day, month after month. Your body never gets a chance to turn off emergency mode. Your boss constantly sends emails. Bills keep piling up. Your relationship is tense. You don't get enough sleep. You have no time to rest. Your body's alarm system is screaming 24/7. And here's the problem. The human body wasn't designed to endure this. When stress becomes chronic, it doesn't just make you feel exhausted. It begins to change your basic physiology. It restructures your brain. It attacks every system in your body. According to research from the American Psychological Association, 77% of people regularly experience physical symptoms caused by stress. 73% experience psychological symptoms, and most of them don't realize that chronic stress is the root cause. So what exactly is happening? Let's start with your brain. Section 2. Brain effects. Your brain is being attacked from the inside. When you're in a state of chronic stress, 3 important regions of the brain are severely affected: the hippocampus, the amygdala, and the prefrontal cortex. First is the hippocampus, your memory center. The hippocampus is like your brain's library where every memory is stored, everything you learn. But when chronic stress floods it with cortisol, the hippocampus begins to shrink. That's right, shrink. MRI studies show that people with chronic stress have significantly smaller hippocampi compared to those without stress. This is why when you're stressed, you forget your keys, you forget appointments, you can't remember names, you feel like your brain is foggy. This isn't you getting old. This is stress destroying the brain structure responsible for memory. Second is the amygdala, your emotional center. While the hippocampus shrinks, the amygdala swells. This is the area that processes fear and anxiety. When it's overactive, you become hypervigilant. Everything small feels like a threat. An email from your boss makes your heart pound. A text message makes you assume the worst. A normal conversation feels like a confrontation. Your brain is stuck in danger everywhere mode, even when you're safe in your own living room. Third is the prefrontal cortex, your control center. This is the area that helps you make decisions. Plan, control emotions. It's your brain's CEO. But with chronic stress, this CEO is weakened. The connections between the prefrontal cortex and amygdala are disrupted. This means the rational part of your brain can no longer control the emotional part. This is why when you're stressed, you make poor decisions. You explode in anger over small things. You can't focus on tasks. You feel overwhelmed by simple choices. Research from Yale shows just a few weeks of chronic stress can cause significant decline in prefrontal cortex function. And the longer you stay in this state, the harder it is to reverse the damage. But this isn't just the brain. Your body is also under attack. Section 3. Body systems effects. Chronic stress doesn't stay in your head. It spills into every cell, every organ in your body. The cardiovascular system is the first victim. Every time you're stressed, your heart beats faster. Blood pressure increases. That's normal in acute stress. But when this happens daily, hourly, your cardiovascular system never gets to rest. Think of it like a car always running at maximum speed. The engine will break down. Same with your heart. Chronic stress increases inflammation in arteries. It promotes plaque buildup. It increases the risk of heart attack and stroke threefold. According to the American Heart Association, stress is a major risk factor for heart disease, on par with smoking and poor diet. The immune system is next. Your immune system is like an army protecting your body from viruses, bacteria, cancer cells. But chronic stress is like sending your army to fight with no rest. No supplies. Cortisol, the stress hormone, actually suppresses the immune system. It reduces white blood cell production, the warriors that fight infection. This is why when you're stressed, you get sick more often. Your wounds heal slower. Vaccines are less effective. Your body loses the ability to defend itself. Research shows people with chronic stress have double the risk of infection and recover 40% slower than those without stress. The digestive system doesn't escape either. Have you ever felt stomach pain when anxious? That's not just in your head. The brain and gut are directly connected through the vagus nerve. When you're stressed, your brain sends signals to your gut. Digestion slows down or speeds up. stomach acid increases. The gut microbiome, the good bacteria that help with digestion and immunity, becomes imbalanced. This is why chronic stress leads to irritable bowel syndrome, stomach ulcers, acid reflux, and other digestive problems. A study from Johns Hopkins showed chronic stress increases the risk of serious digestive problems by 60%. And that's not all. Chronic stress disrupts sleep. It affects weight, often leading to belly fat gain. It increases the risk of type 2 diabetes. It contributes to chronic pain and inflammation. Your body is in a state of internal warfare, and the enemy, your own stress hormones. Section 4, stress hormones and long-term effects. Cortisol is called the stress hormone, but it's actually more complex than that. In normal situations, cortisol follows a natural rhythm. It's high in the morning to wake you up. It gradually decreases throughout the day. By evening, it's at its lowest so you can sleep. But chronic stress completely breaks this rhythm. First, cortisol spikes dramatically. In the early stages of chronic stress, the adrenal glands pump cortisol constantly. Your cortisol levels stay high even when you need rest. This is like living with a fire alarm blaring 24/7. Your body thinks it's always in an emergency. What does chronically high cortisol do? It breaks down muscle protein to create quick energy. It stores fat, especially around the belly. It raises blood sugar. It reduces reproductive hormone production. This is why chronic stress leads to muscle loss, belly fat gain, reproductive issues, and loss of sex drive. Then something more dangerous happens, adrenal fatigue. After months or years of pumping cortisol constantly, the adrenal glands start to tire. They can't keep up with demand anymore. Cortisol production drops sharply. Now you don't have enough cortisol for basic functioning. You wake up exhausted. You need caffeine just to function. By afternoon, you collapse, you crave sugar and salt. You get sick frequently. This isn't laziness. This is physiological collapse after years of unmanaged stress. Other stress hormones are affected too. Adrenaline and noradrenaline, the fight or flight hormones, also become dysregulated. Dopamine and serotonin, the happiness hormones, plummet. This is why chronic stress often leads to depression and anxiety. Research from Harvard shows people with chronic stress have 4 times the risk of developing depression. But here's the important thing to remember. All this damage is not permanent. The brain has neuroplasticity. The body has the ability to heal. Hormones can be rebalanced. You're not stuck in this state forever. Section 5, hope and solutions. So what do you do with all this information? First, breathe a sigh of relief. Knowledge is the first step. You just learned what most people never know about stress. Now you can do something about it. There are 3 pillars to reverse the effects of chronic stress. Pillar 1, reduce the source of stress. I know this seems obvious, but most people skip this step. They try to manage stress without addressing the root cause. Be honest with yourself. Toxic job, unhealthy relationship, chaotic finances, lack of sleep. You can't meditate your way out of stress if your life is truly unsustainable. Sometimes seeking professional help, changing jobs, or setting strong boundaries is what you need most. Pillar 2, activate the relaxation response. Your body has a built-in system to turn off stress, the parasympathetic nervous system. You just need to know how to turn it on. Deep breathing, mindfulness practice, meditation, yoga, time in nature, all these are proven to reduce cortisol and activate the relaxation response. This isn't fiction. MRI studies show just 8 weeks of mindfulness practice can increase hippocampus size and decrease the amygdala. Pillar 3, build resilience. Regular exercise, quality sleep, good nutrition, and social connections are all like armor against stress. Exercise increases BDNF, a protein that helps the brain grow new neurons. Sleep allows the brain to clear cortisol and toxins. Social relationships release oxytocin, cortisol's natural counterbalance. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. 20 minutes of walking each day, 7-8 hours of sleep each night, 1 genuine conversation with a friend each week. These small things accumulate over time. And if you feel overwhelmed, start with one thing, just one. Maybe it's setting a fixed bedtime. Maybe it's 5 minutes of deep breathing each morning. Maybe it's saying no to one unnecessary commitment. Your brain and body are waiting to heal. Give them the chance. Chronic stress is not something you have to endure. It's not an unavoidable part of modern life. You just learned what's happening inside your body and brain. Now you have the power to change it. If this video helped you understand stress in a new way, leave a comment below sharing the first step you'll take. And subscribe for more science-based content on mental and physical health. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself. You deserve it. See you next time.